I've once heard of a quote that says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Indeed, the tongue can be such a powerful weapon. The tongue can change people's lives. It can even change the world. Moreover, nowadays, fingers can also have as much power. They can brighten up people's day, yet they can also ruin people's lives. How is that so? Before we get to that, I would like to greet the honorable adjudicators and audience. My name is Martha Sarah Natasha, and I'm very honored to be a part of this national speech competition. And right now, I will discuss about cyber racism in today's virtual life. Wait, what does it have to do with fingers and tongues? We'll get to that later. But first of all, we'll talk about technology. So, technology is something that is so prevalent in our lives today. We live our lives off of technology, especially now that we're in the middle of a pandemic. Technology is technology has made our lives so much easier, so much more convenient, and has so many benefits. Yet, it also has its negative effects, one of which is racism. Wait, what? Okay, first of all, let's talk about the internet. The internet is a part of technology, obviously, and the internet is such a vast and diverse place, I would say. So many different kinds of people are on the internet, and you wouldn't think that discrimination is present on the internet because of the many differences on the internet. Even if there is discrimination, even if there is racism, it's online, it's probably not as valid as racism that is in person. Unfortunately, that assumption just now was untrue. It's untrue. And remember how I mentioned that fingers can ruin people's lives? I meant that in a literal way. So, in an article from American Psychological Association, there's this survey of online racial discrimination that young adults and adolescents of color have experienced in 3 consecutive years. And in the first year, 42% of the participants reported that they have experienced at least one racial discriminatory incident. And in the second year, it rose to 55%. And in the third year, it rose to 58%. And so these youth reported that they have received racist stereotyping statements, racist jokes, and even death and physical harm threats, and graphic images of dead black bodies. These are only to name a few. One of the participants said, the worst thing that I have experienced on the internet is that someone threatened to kill me because of my race. See, what some people fail to recognize, and even some of us tend to overlook, is that racism, whether online or offline, anonymous or in person, direct or indirect, implicit or explicit, is inherently racism. And our tongues and our fingers hold an exceptionally great amount of power. A study by Kamen An showed that exposure toward online racism significantly indicated alcohol use severity. And another research found that online racism is associated with symptoms of depression and anxiety, lower academic motivation, and increased problem behavior. So those were the impacts of online racism. So now what should we do? Most importantly, we should be aware of the prevalence of this situation, of this issue. Online racism is real. It is real and it is alive. And we should know the different kinds of racism so that we know how to combat it. It starts from us. It starts from the young generation. It starts from the future of this world, the Gen Z, the millennials, whatever you want to call. If we don't have the initiative, the awareness at least, to take action, then who else would stop these racist people from perpetuating their discriminatory acts? From stopping them from saying hurtful words, and not only hurtful but oppressive and ignorant. It starts from us. And keep in mind that silence is not always golden. Silence is also oppressive. Silence can kill. Indeed, online racism is present. But so are we. So are you. So am I. And I want to invite all of us, as young people of color, to stand in unity and fight against racism in our lives, both physically and virtually. Thank you.